Hello everyone, I am Plankara. Today we're going to continue rigging Shalom for Path to Nowhere. Last time we had partially bald shenanigans and funny bald spots. We're just gradually getting through the hair here. I knew it would take a while from the beginning. I figured that the hair would be the most time-consuming part. There's just a lot to it. And it's super important, unlike some of the complicated stuff in the lower body. I want to make sure it all looks really good. So I'm just going to do some intense staring to spot any problems that I see here. Don't see too many, and they're getting smaller and smaller every time I look, so that's very nice. I'm getting there. Anyway, I was just noticing that this highlight is a little bit low, so I wanted to go push it up a little. I guess we can leave the winky face there. We'll just have a winky face today, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that, I guess. Okay. But yeah, I'm seeing less and less problems with the areas that I've gone through already, so that's good. Means that even when I'm getting kind of tired, that I'm still doing good stuff. I like to see it. Alright, so this is out of the range that I've normally been working in, but it's bothering me. I just kind of want to bring this up here a little bit. Okay, I think that's as much as I want to work down there, but it was bothering me. So I wanted to fix it. Okay. Look, sometimes I can just go fix things strictly because they're bothering me. It's okay. I have to fix it all eventually anyway. But now I'm looking back up into this area that I was working on last time. So I think that's probably the next area that I really have to dig into. Let's see, do a bit more intense staring in that area, see what happens. Alright. Think I know what to work on now. Shoot, now I have to remember which layer that is. Like, oh no, I'm buried in layers, help me. Alright. So I just kind of want to get this area. Mostly this part, but also kind of that part. Kind of go into the right place. Alright, so we'll just have to see here. See what I can figure out. It looks like this part got pushed down a little bit, so let's push him back up. And a little bit too pointy, it looks like. I'm not surprised. I remember trying to work on this when I was getting pretty tired. But it can be hard to stop, even when my brain is just like, oh god, I can't stand to look at hair anymore. 'Cause I do have fun making these. Alright. I'm gonna go hide front bang for just a second there, just so I can get a better look at what's going underneath here. And do some more intense staring. Never have enough intense staring. Alright. Not quite sure what to expect here. I'm probably not going to go out of my way to make this area perfect, but sometimes hiding layers can make it a little bit easier for me to tell what's going on. And to make everything underneath there look nice. In the end, I just gotta do whatever makes things easiest for me. So let's see. Just gonna gradually start pushing everything into place here. No, I don't think I can use a brush for this. Just need to get this all up in here. Something like that. Okay, so you can see that this highlight is kind of shifting upwards. Well, that's the next part I need to pull down. And now this part is kind of shifting upwards too. I moved it a little bit too much. That's alright. That area is less important. I'm more just doing it to give myself an idea of where to put everything else. So let's see here. Yeah, that's already looking a bit better. I can see that this light line right here is kind of compressing a little bit. That may just be something that I have to tolerate, but... It's because, you know, some parts are going to move a bit, because her head is indeed turning, in theory. But let's try to get as much... But, you know, when it moves, it should feel like it's because her head is turning, not because stuff is sliding around in her hair. That's just weird. It's just weird. Alright, things are starting to shift a bit less. I think I'm gonna turn the bang back on. Looking up in this area here. I'm trying really hard to ignore down there, so let's actually scroll it off screen a little. Make it a bit easier to ignore. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely looking better. Still not perfect, but better. Significantly better. And better is what matters. I guess I'm a little better than I was yesterday. Eventually I'll get there. It's all good. Okay, I think I shifted it a little bit too high. That's alright. I do have a tendency to overdo it just a little bit. Alright, now I kind of want to get this big ol' shadow right. I think I'm ready. Like, I know it's a bit far away from the part, but it's bothering me and I want to fix it. So I'm gonna do it now. Why wait? Let's see here. Okay, so it looks like this part is kind of pulling away. I think I have to fix that before I can figure out anything else. We'll just bring this back up in here. Gotta straighten things out. Okay. Feel like the highlight is shifting downward. So let's bring that back on up. And we'll just, I don't know, start getting things where they go. It's a process. So if you decide to try this, don't worry if it takes you a while. I do have the art that I cut out for this listed in the video description here, so if you want to give it a try, go for it. You can use it for all your own purposes. Don't worry, I don't believe in copyright. Do what you want. Just don't sell it, I guess. That'd be kind of a dick move. Maybe I believe in copyright a little bit. It has its place, but overall I think it's silly. Let's see here. Okay, so now I think this next part is here. I do think it should squish in a little bit. Actually, probably more than it is right now. Because her head is turning, so this part should be kind of more on top of this part. From how we see it. I'm gonna try to kind of push things a little bit more this way. See how that looks. That wasn't that much movement, so it'll be a good test. Okay, if I can control that shadow a little bit better, I think that'll actually look pretty good. Let's take a look. See if I can do it. If I can't, I'll figure out something else. It's okay, I believe in myself. I can figure it out. Just pull at it very carefully. Okay, that's super crunchy, but how does it actually look? No, I'm doing this backwards. I think I want this part to go a little further this way. Because that wasn't quite working for me. We'll push this out a little bit, and we'll pull this more into here. Push and pull. That's kind of how a lot of it works. See if we can't get this little divot to cooperate here. I think this little spot is kind of important. It's a very clear shift between the strands. So if I do it right, it'll add some nice three-dimensionality to the turn. Idea solid, I think. Let's refine that a little bit. Let me see, is that a mesh issue? I think it is, actually. What do you look like? Oh gosh. Yeah, I can... It's a bit hard to read. This is supposed to... Yeah, I think this is supposed to go like that. That'll probably actually make my life easier if I just fix that up a little. Probably just a little spot that I missed. And I don't really blame myself for missing it. It's super buried. But that should make life a little bit easier. I tend to miss one or two of those as I work. You know, in the initial mesh, just because, oh my goodness, there's always so much. And it's easy to miss it. But you can see, that was a pretty quick fix. That wasn't too bad. Okay. I do feel like it's going a little bit too far up over there. So let's bring it back on down. See what happens. Overall, I do feel like it's getting there, though. I just have this tendency to want to make things really round. And that's not how this artist operates. What can I say? I like round things. Circles are a great shape. But it's not how this artist operates, so I gotta make things a little bit less round. Remind myself to make things a little bit less round. Okay. I think this maybe not optimal levels of roundness yet, but I think it's getting there. Which is to say, it needs to be a little bit less round. I mean, personally, I think optimal levels of roundness were a little bit before I started adjusting all this, but the way the art is drawn disagrees, so we can't always get what we want. Okay. So I've noticed that I kind of had to push this outer side a little further away in order to make all this happen. And you can see it still looks like it's being flattened a bit. Definitely need to fix that. Let's see here. That part's definitely getting closer, though. I think I need to point this a little bit more, like, this way. I think that should help. Something like that. Yeah, I think that helped a bit. I do think I still want to fix the rest of this area, but then I think after that I'm going to go back to really digging in on the part here. Part of her hair as opposed to the part of the model. Just because, well, I feel like working on this little area here right now. I don't really feel the need to question it. Maybe it'd make more sense to work in a different spot, but that's fine. I don't have to make sense if I don't want to. It makes sense to me. That's probably what matters in the end. Alright, so I'll try to get rid of the kind of flattening and compression happening in that area. Do my best, at least. Looking perhaps a bit crunchy, but that's okay. I'll fix that later. There tends to come a time where I just cannot stare at what I'm working at anymore, so it's kind of nice to have a change of scenery prepared for when that eventually happens. Because, I mean, you know it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. It's gonna. There's nothing I can do about it. After a while, my eyes just... They clamor for no more hair. Make it stop. Try to make this a little bit less crunchy. Sometimes doing that can also help me just make sure everything's in the right spot. Not quite. This needs to go a little further this way. Not you. You. There we go. Gotta find the right layer. Just kind of wish I understood what was making this spot right here just crunch so hard. I guess that's fine. Yeah, and I even like how this part gets a little bit thinner. Because it makes it so we're seeing a little bit more of the shadow and a little bit less of the highlight. And that actually makes sense for this kind of turn. I feel like there's a fair amount of sliding, though. I think I'm getting sick of working on this part, so let's scroll somewhere else and find something else to do. Like I said, I don't have to justify what I work on, I can do what I want. Okay, so I think that's this one. Let's try to get some of this into place here. That might be way too much, but I kind of want to start there. Yeah, I think that helped a lot. That wasn't right, but it helped me kind of see what is right. You know, one step at a time. And each time as I poke at it, it starts shifting just a little bit less. Like, man, do you remember what this looked like when we first started? It's like... when it was like that, and kind of demonstrated over here where it just didn't move at all. And now it's just doing this. Slowly, but surely, I'll get there. At least for me, hair is what makes the head turns take a while. Everything else is pretty straightforward, but oh boy, does hair take a while. Although I guess the hair on my model wasn't too bad, but that's because it was like, what, 10 or 15 layers? As opposed to this. And a lot of that was just because I separated the highlights to pull shenanigans with. I wanted them to be a little bit animated. If you look at the big white highlights on my model closely, you'll see that they're kind of moving underneath, and I like that effect. It's really subtle, but I think it's pretty. This makes it all look a little bit shinier. Man, I just cannot get that to move the way I want it to. Just shifting so strangely, and I do not understand. It's really hard to fix something when you don't understand. Probably not that big a deal, but I don't know, it's bothering me a little bit. See right here shifting a little bit too, so maybe the issue is that I just have to pull this down a little bit. That helped a little. For the rest, it's like, I don't know, do I just have to... What does the mesh look like originally? Try to get a similar shape, and maybe that'll help me out a bit. Who knows? Like, whatever this middle spot is, what controls that? Right here. What does control that? Kind of hard to say. I didn't make something for that specifically. I was more worried about this black area. Which makes sense. Okay, so now next would be this part. What controls that part? Again, kind of hard to say. When in doubt, straighten the triangles and see what happens. I think that's probably good enough. Like, it's still shifting a little bit, but I don't think it's that noticeable. I do need to fix the end a little bit, though. Because maybe not with brush. The direction it's pointing is changing, if that makes sense. The original it points down, in my edit there it points up. Okay, and now this part I actually have to make rounder. Man, but I need to make it rounder. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's take another look at this area. I'm going to try to ignore that area again. I have it significantly more correct, so it's much easier to ignore now. Nice when that works out. Okay, so I see right over here is shifting downward. So let's pull this back up a little bit. Okay, now I feel like this highlight is shifting upward. It's also elongating somewhat. I guess I need to just do something like this. That should help. Okay, now I just need to get this back in the right spot. And send him a little higher. And that should help a lot. Yes. Just gotta send the other side a little bit higher too. Boop. Okay. It's getting close. Soon the intense staring will be done. Okay. This is probably unnecessary, but I don't want to pull all this back up because I could see it shifting a bit underneath there. Okay. Now it should be about there. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Not 100%. I think that actually made it worse. Let's undo that. There we go. As I see that there's some weird movement here. Let's go look at a different spot. I think I'll revisit that spot a little bit later. Okay. So now I want to start working on this area. And I noticed that this little spot needed to be pulled a little further out. What is that? Let's try to find what I'm looking at here. Maybe this will make it easier to identify. Okay, so probably the reason that I was saying so much that I wasn't able to fix was just because what I was actually seeing was on a different layer. That would make sense. That happens a lot. So let's get this going where it should, and then maybe that other strand will make a little bit more sense. We'll just get that into place afterwards. Man, all that work trying to get that right, and it was this easy. All I had to do was hide the layer that was making it look weird. Isn't that just how it goes sometimes? Let's see. Yeah, I feel like I'm having a much easier time figuring out where this should be now. Without the other hair there, so it probably just had some overlapping stuff that was making it hard to see. Alright, when it comes down to it, rigging is a very slow process. I'm always worried that's a little bit boring to watch. And I hope you find seeing the process interesting, at least. And if I'm being really honest, personally I think you should try it if you have any interest at all in this kind of thing. It's a pretty cool skill. I've been enjoying it quite a lot. That's why I wanted to put out the cutout art there. And less of a barrier to entry to giving it a shot. Though I am having a bit of trouble seeing things today. Let's see here. Yep. It was indeed just hiding on a different layer. Isn't that just how it goes sometimes? Thought I was seeing was actually something else. Okay. Now let's take a look here. Start getting this one into place. I think I'm gonna go for big overarching things today. My brain does not want to see the details in the necessary clarity right now. That's okay. The big details have to be figured out at some point too. Today is a perfect day for that. Okay. It's getting there. Just kinda gotta very carefully get the shape of this area just right, because I think that's gonna be the most important area here. And everything else after that will kind of work itself out. Perfect. Yep, that's definitely a lot better. Let's push it a little bit more. And then adjust the angle right there just a little bit. Maybe not quite that much. No, actually I think that might work out. I just need to push everything else a little bit more this way. Everything is relative, so it can be hard to tell exactly what to push and pull every time. Okay, I'm gonna go look somewhere else for a little bit. I've been wanting to fix where this bang goes around her eye for a little while. So, because that's kind of what bothers me whenever I look at it in the morning. So let's take a look at that. See if I can't get something going there. I'm just gonna be very gentle with my little pushes. Don't want to move them too much. They'll get scared. Okay. I'll hide that strand. Let's see. Here we are. That'll make it a little bit easier to see too. Oh yeah, I stretched that out pretty badly, didn't I? It's okay. When I'm just starting the process, sometimes you just gotta make things go and then do the fine adjustments a little bit later. Oh yeah, I stretched that out quite a lot. Can't have that. Let's start pushing all this back up. So man, when I looked at that and it just sliding all the way down there like it was slipping on an icy hill. That is not what you want in your hair. You do not want icy hills in your hair. That would be incredibly silly. Okay, pretty close. Still sliding a bit, but it's a lot better now. I think today's gonna be one of those days where I just move around a lot, do a lot of random things. It's okay. I have days like that sometimes. Sometimes I can fight it, sometimes I don't. Today, I don't think I'm going to. Let's just embrace the jump around and work on various things. Instead of drilling in hard on the areas I would probably be for the best, but here has a pretty clear point of reference in the eyes, so I'm not too worried. Something like that, maybe. Okay, now it feels like these highlights are growing upward. So at that point, I probably pushed a little bit too far up, but everything else looks much better, I think. Okay. So this bang here. I think I want to pull out these strands this way a little bit more. And also I need to pull this down. There we go. Just pull it out just a little bit. Make it a little bit wider there, so this way it looks more like her head is turning. Actually, I don't think I want to move that spot right there too much. That's around the highlight, and I worked pretty hard to get those highlights looking right, so I'm going to trust what my past self did, and believe that's how the highlights are supposed to look. If that's not the case, I can deal with that later. I just want to pull these out a little, something like that. Could be looking a little choppy, but it should look better once I zoom out. Okay, and I think I pulled it a little bit too far away from her eye now. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that back just a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. And once I straighten it out, it should look a lot better. So right now, I'm not overly worried about how crunchy it is. I'll fix the crunchiness a little bit later. But you can see, there is definitely a little bit of crunch there. Not always super great at manipulating the art mesh here, but I'm getting better. That's what practice does to you. It makes you better. Let's see. So I think most of the weirdness I'm seeing is in the strands at the bottom now. So let's go ahead and work on those a little bit. We'll just go whoop. Kind of push them over. That might be too... hold it a little bit too high. There we go. Let's try something like this. We can refine from there. No, that honestly looks pretty bad. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so let's take a better look here. What exactly is the problem? Feels like it's growing downward here. So let's push this up. And in, just a little. Maybe something like that. Start there. Okay, and then the curve of this strand is completely different. I think that's probably the next big issue, but I think I'm gonna have to do that like this, as opposed to with the brush. It's nice when I can use the brush, but I can't always get away with it. This one just got all messed up. I just kind of got to go in and adjust it. It's like pointing the wrong direction and everything. Getting a little bit of crunch in there, but I think I can fix it. Just make the hair a little bit more flippy. Something like that. Okay, that was a bit too much. So let's pull it down a bit. Use a small brush here. I'll just go pull it on down. Something like that. Closer. But still pretty far. And I think I'm ready to jump to another spot. So let's see, what should I do next? Oh yeah, kind of wanted to fix this here. And I have most of the hair around it adjusted. So I think I can fix it now. Let's see. So it's mostly covering this pink part. Let's put it on over there. Something like that. Let's see how that does. Pretty close. It's still kind of tipping upward. Which means I just need to grab the bottom here, push it in. Something like that. Kind of looking at that light pink spot to help guide me on where I should put everything. I kind of know where it should go relative to that. Let's stretch this out a little bit since we see a little bit more. I think that should look pretty good once I get it right. It kind of feels like it's sliding downward. So there we go, something like that. Just adjust it bit by bit. Bit by bit. I think it's about there. And I'm glad I separated this little strand, because I think the little effect that I have on here is pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it. Oh, no, that was way more than what I wanted to do. Just a matter of getting it just right. pretty close. And then I think I'm going to make it a little bit less crunchy. Just kind of straighten things out a little bit. Mostly right through here. I think there's just a little bit of crunch. Oh yeah, there we go. That's better. Found the direction that it needed to go in order to get rid of the crunch there. Kind of feel like this dark spot isn't moving quite right. I'm not quite sure how to fix it though. Maybe like this. Maybe I just pulled it a little bit too far. Yeah, that's all it was. Okay. My brain in my current state says that's okay. So let's see here. Here's like a behind strand. Let's take a look at this guy. Actually, before we take a look at that guy. Where'd it go? I was seeing something over here. Okay, so no, that is something with this layer. Good, this means I know that that's the one I need to adjust. Okay, that makes sense. I think I see what's wrong here. It's just showing a bit too much of the highlight. And then let's see. Yeah, here we should definitely see more of this loopy area. Let's make it a little bit rounder, because I like round things. Round things make me happy. Circle's truly a great shape. Okay. Fortunately, I don't think I need to fix very much of this. I just kind of need to make it less crunchy. And for that, I think making it a little bit rounder will help. Let's see if I make it too round. Let's see here. Maybe something like that. How does that look? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. You see a lot more of it. I might be extending it a little bit too far, but for now I think it's okay. Just pull this in a little bit. Yeah, something like that. I'm sure it'll look good once I get around to fixing the rest of this strand. I guess I can do a little bit of work on that right now. Okay. Look at that. Just gonna make him a bit rounder. So I do like making hair nice and round. It makes it look so fluffy. That's still pretty crunchy, but let's see how it looks so far. Yeah. I think I can work with something like that. Let's take a look at that little bottom part right here. Pull this over just a little bit. And push this in just a little bit. Something like that. That's still completely wrong. But that's okay. I'll fix it one step at a time. I'm still mostly focused on the part, after all. The part of her hair. Yeah, that's gonna require some finagling to fix. Alright, I know I have some strands that I've hidden in various places. Not that one. That one can stay hidden. I'm not ready for that one yet. Okay, so yeah, let's do this one. Although I guess I haven't even really done a lot of stuff with that layer. It's still kinda growing funny. So I guess we'll take a look at it right now. Why not? Where my whims have taken me for today. It's gonna be a lot to fix that area, I think. I'll just try to get the bigger areas that I think are wrong. I don't expect much from myself right now. Where'd it go? There it is. Lost the layer for a second there. It happens. It's okay, I found it. It can't hide from me forever. Alright. Okay, so... still... a little bit down. Actually, no, I think this might just be an area where I want the big brush, but only in a select few vertices. And nah, I think it'll actually just be easier for me to just go in and adjust them myself. It's something like this. Something like that. Still far from perfect, but it's a lot better than it was 5 minutes ago. So I'll take it. Alright. So it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was, and I think I'm ready to move on to a different spot. Which means I'm not quite ready for adding the little strand back on yet. Yeah, that's that, that's that. Strands. Sure, I've gotten a lot done in this area, so let's take a look at this spot. I'll just take a quick look. Try to get a little bit closer than it was a few minutes ago. Have less bald spots. You know, that kind of thing. Okay, that's a little bit better. Not perfect yet, but it's a little bit better. Let's see, I think I can tuck it in just a little bit more. Keep her hair nice and floofy. Really make it look like this strand is going behind the side bang there. Yeah. Need to make some adjustments later, but I can do that once I've figured out where everything else on these layers is gonna go. So now I'm looking at this strand right here, and it's kind of bothering me, so I'll just go ahead and take a look at that. No, that's left. Here's right. so I guess there's a strand. I probably want to hide real quick, just so I don't get these two areas confused. A bit closer. It's closer than it was. Let's see, where was it again? This one. Here we are. Just forgetting which layer I was poking at here. So I think this area just needs to be a bit rounder. Just to sell the illusion that it's kind of rotating with her head. Just doing some very gradual pushes here. I don't want to move things too hard and too fast. That's a good way to make your art look crunchy. So I'll just gently push it on through. Okay. Yeah, there's some spots there I'm gonna have to fix, but how's this for now? Alright. That looks pretty good, I think. Alright, and it's been an hour, and my brain is all over the place today. So I think I'll stop there for today. So, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on Twitter or Instagram and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.